I like the project. I think it was several months ago, Mr. Berkowitz and his son came in. I don't have the exact date. And he brought out the plans. I thought it looked like a hairpin, one of those old hairpins. The design straight in the back and then down in a little curve versus some of the other analogies. But two things stood out on the project itself. And I want to put on the record and see if anything has changed from the time we had the initial discussion. One is that no money from taxpayers. So it wasn't even qualified to Miami-Dade County versus jurisdiction of City of Miami, but no money from taxpayers was going to be used or sought to pay for the project as it was illustrated as the skyrise. And I have seen Mr. Berkowitz's project at Dayland when I was not a county commissioner years ago, and also as a representative to, I guess, South Point, which is Fish Street in Alton, as a state legislator and then as a commissioner. So I'm familiar with his product and his commitments made to the communities. If I'm correct, Mr. Mayor, the language, I'll assume you still keep your hand on the pulse of City of Miami. This issue went to the residents of the City of Miami to ask them if they would support a project of this nature at Bayside. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. To my knowledge, I think this is the only one of our GOB projects under Project 124 eligibility that has gone to the voters as a whole. It sort of goes on the heels of what one of my colleagues said. I don't know if it was Levine Cava or Sosa that said, we're not getting the input on the people spending the money. Well, they set the parameters when they voted originally to pass over $3 billion in bond. But this particular pot of money, Project 124, that I hated the process here, this is only project on the list that's gotten public sentiment if they wanted to back it. Is that correct? I know it passed by over 70%.
Yeah, it passed by a landslide.
Okay. All right. I'm open to it, and I wanted to put that on the record. I guess since this is only for infrastructure and it includes the entire Bayside area, Biscayne Boulevard, so whether it's the temporary track or the two parks down the street or mitigating demands placed by parcel B, if it's to be utilized. This is a whole area that would feed into. Is that correct? It's not just
this is public infrastructure that will, enhance this particular project. But any public infrastructure that enhances that project by itself also enhances the entire area.
Could you speak to the perimeter area of it? Because I'm not seeing it just as a little quadrant over in the backside of Bayside where the old Hard Rock used to be. Or whatever the restaurant used to be.
If I get the developer to tell you exactly what the public infrastructure is going to be, all right, he can probably do that a lot better than I can.
What's the perimeter for it? I'm familiar with Bayside, but this is infrastructure for the area. I know you got the whole compound. You have a marina there. You got the arena across the port entry. You got the rail tracks that are now being used. North to south, and how far east-west?
You
have to put your name on the record.
Brian May,
Are you
representing.
recognizing him, Commissioner?
Yes, but I'm not yielding. I want to go back to the mayor afterwards.
Brian May with offices at 235 Catalonia Avenue in Coral Gables, here representing Berkowitz Development, the developer of the project. And Jeff Berkowitz is here also to address anything you might have. The perimeter is essentially for the public infrastructure improvements would be the entire Baywalk, as well as rebuilding the Bayside Marina portion of it. again, public property, as well as the ingress and egress extending all the way out to Biscayne Boulevard, and then also public improvements to Biscayne Boulevard itself. So that would essentially be the I would call it the footprint ballpark of the public infrastructure improvements, which total about just in excess of $35 million is what we estimate. And, of course, this would be $9 million towards that total overall public infrastructure cost.
Okay, you're saying public-private. This is all within the jurisdiction of City of Miami.
Correct.
Okay, and so it is a boulevard for transportation, I'll assume water flow, and you said the Baywalk, so it would go to the seawall in and of itself, which
Yes.
is the backside of Bayfront Park.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Anything else as it relates, because I know it was asked $13 million for about 1/3 of what it's going to cost, and it's down to $9 million. The rest of it, the onus of the rest of it for infrastructure, Mr. Mayor?
The project, as far as I know, is about $440 million. It's well north of $400 million. The ask of Miami-Dade County is about less than 2%. This will bring hundreds of jobs, permanent jobs. Also, it's an investment in an area that we've invested very heavily in. We invested $275 million into the museums there, and I think this is added to that area, an added attraction and a beneficial add to the area, to an area that we've really invested a lot of money in. This $9 million again is paid after the fact, after the project is completed, and the jobs are verified, and during the contract phase, we'll make sure that the workers here are reflective of Miami-Dade County.
Okay, now to the last one. I think there's only one other one that's basically new coming in, and that's the next. I think it's the next one coming in. But the other ones from Opelika reparation and for existing infrastructure that's old, Larkin, and some other projects. This is brand new. The time frame, Mr. Berkowitz, if I can recognize him, Madam Chair.
I'm sorry.
The time frame on it. It's a new project. This is $9 million.
It's a brand new project.
But let me ask my question first for my specific concern, and that's going to determine how I'm going to vote. You have a limitation on the time frame to get the money into play and making a commitment. Does this apply to brand new projects also, Mr. Mayor? For this, how much time that I know they don't get it till they have the back end, but to get all the paperwork done to get the $9 million?
If there's going to be a time frame to put the contract together, as Commissioner Levine-Cava said,
right,
till July, so we will have until July to put a contract together. Mr. Berkowitz then has to build the project. After the project is completed for over a year, that's the only time that he can come back and ask for reimbursement.
Understood. Okay. My concern is for a new project, as it applies, we got the perimeter, so you're dealing with road, Baywalk, all Baysides project, and the infrastructure around it. Is there going to be an issue that you can't meet that time frame and obligation?
We're already working on that. That work is ongoing. Part of that work is ongoing.
Okay, and last one, I think, estimated, I know the value of your project. I saw what you presented in my office. What's anticipated as far as some employment to build and then employment and utilization of Skyrise? If you could put that on the record.
Certainly. Excuse me, and we'd like to introduce our economic study. And I'm just going to summarize real quick.
Those two numbers real quick.
Two numbers. During operations, total job impacts, indirect and direct, over 15,000. We are assuming that we are going to hire as many as 900 permanent jobs in the project itself.
That's after it's built.
That's after it's built. During construction, it's over 5,000 direct and indirect jobs, probably more than 1,500 direct jobs.
Thank you. Thank you.